I never post stuff like this, but you really need to hear this. You need to hear what Christian nationalists believe, what Christian Zionists believe, and what Ted Cruz is putting out there. Good on Tucker Carlson. I have such a newfound respect for Tucker Carlson because he called this guy out. And listen to what happens when Ted Cruz is exposed for being a moron and not knowing the Bible and not knowing what he's talking about. Watch what happens. He's like a high school student or like a young adult in college who took a political science class who doesn't really know what they're talking about. But when they're exposed, they start yelling because they think that by the assertion of their volume, they're going to win the argument, because they certainly can't win it by any kind of intelligence or sense. This is so cringeworthy. Like, you just have to hear it. You really have to hear it. Okay, there's 2 videos that I'm going to play you. And by the way, I don't have Instagram. Someone sent this to me. I don't know how Instagram works. I hardly know the basic functions of my cell phone, okay? And that's not because I'm dumb. It's because I like it that way. I like a simple life. So I'm going to try to tell you where this is from. This is from something called Here's Why. And it's entitled, Tucker Carlson Clowns Ted Cruz for Not Understanding the Bible. Here's Why, with Kevin Ortega Rojas on Instagram. Okay, so that's what Here's Why is. All right, that's the first one. The second one is going to be the same program, and Ted Cruz gets schooled by Tucker Carlson, or by Carlson, and makes a stunning admission. Yeah, I'll say, it's pretty interesting. And Tucker Carlson, I haven't watched a lot of Tucker Carlson, but there was a time when Tucker was on Fox News, and I unfortunately and shamefully used to watch Fox News at one time in my life. So I remember him from there, and when Tucker, thinks something is really ridiculous, he's very animated about it. And will literally laugh in your face. And I gotta say, this one was deserved. All right, without further ado.
In school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of, it says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my... You pull out the phone and use the...
It's in Genesis. So you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker...
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Hey, where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two...
Hold on. Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And
what does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But what? Hold on. Define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
So is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yet nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the descendants
God's
of
referring
Abraham.
to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
That is so preposterous. It's so ridiculous, but this is literally what counterfeit Christianity believes. And good on Tucker, because he has a platform, and he has a platform to be able to raise this issue and to call baloney on it. And look how defensive Ted Cruz gets. I love this one, because people do this to me all the time. They'll claim something false, and when I question them about it, they'll tell me it's in the Bible, look it up. I'm going to go do your research for you on a false claim that you're making in the Bible. Is that how that works? Because you can't even follow the Bible and defend the claims that you're making, defend the faith that you are declaring. That's exactly what Ted Cruz just did to Tucker Carlson. You go look it up, pull out your phone. Well, it's clear to me from the interview that Tucker Carlson already knows that it's baloney, that scripture in Genesis is being misused, as I've demonstrated to you on the channel. God was not talking about a nation that was going to be formed in 1948, a made-up nation formed in 1948 that has no regard for his laws, that murder, sodomize, and steal land. He's definitely talked about him in the Bible. He talks about him in Micah. He talks about him in Habakkuk. He talks about how he's raising up the Babylonians. they would be better named Babylonians. But what they are is a farce. They are an image of the Antichrist. They are a counterfeit Israel, a counterfeit chosen people. God's people are chosen based on the covenant. He says you're going to be justified by your heart. He does not say you're going to be justified by your ethnicity or your DNA or your 23andMe. He does not say that. And the Israel of the Bible is not what's calling itself Israel right now. That is the image of the Antichrist that is going to persecute and kill God's people, and will also, by the way, persecute and kill the Antichrist kingdom of counterfeit Christianity. I've demonstrated it for you in Revelation 9. If you think that's so far-fetched, maybe look up a documentary on the USS Liberty and see how Israel feels about the United States. See the massive cover-up that the United States did because they're bought. They are owned by Israeli lobbying groups. And then you tell me, after you watch that documentary, then you tell me, and I have one actually here on the channel, if you want to look under the file that's entitled, or the playlist that's entitled False Prophet, something or other. It's False Prophet, Image of the Antichrist and the Antichrist, or something like that. There are a bunch of documentaries in there that will be to your benefit to watch and to educate yourself. So after you watch that, you tell me, is it so far-fetched that the image of the Antichrist, counterfeit Israel, would actually turn on those who worship it? Isn't that how the devil works? Devil has no loyalty to you. Isn't that what God said about this kingdom? Divided kingdom? Next video.
Around, by the way.
I don't know the population at all. No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah,
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and predominantly Shia. Okay,
it's not even... You don't know anything about Iran. So
I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who
don't know anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump.
No,
You're the
I'm
one
not saying that.
who can't figure out if it was a good idea to kill General Soleimani, and you said it was bad.
You don't believe they're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. If you really believe
we're
that...
carrying out military strikes today.
You said Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
No, we're not bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
We are supporting Israel.
High stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening.
Tucker Carlson... That was magnificent. And surely, I don't want to actually give total credit to Tucker Carlson because God exposed it, and God is the one who's brilliant. You know, contrary to what these politicians think, not all of America is as stupid as they are. Most of America, maybe, but not all of America. Some of us can hear and read between the lines. We hear when the president is saying, like, this is what's going to happen, and then it happens, and then he goes, oh, we don't have anything to do with it, though. Like, we know better than that. Not all of us choose to live in delusion. So when Ted Cruz says something like this, like, we're the ones who are doing this, and then he backpedals, the entire world doesn't have to do that along with him, you know? You don't have to do that. Let me just tell you. Let me give you permission. You don't have to go along with what these dumb people say. They don't even know how to defend their faith. And I'm so incredibly grateful that this is getting out. I'm so incredibly grateful that someone like Tucker Carlson, who has this platform, is able to get that out there, that this is not Israel. And I'm assuming that maybe this is why people have been, I've been seeing this on certain news stations, not mainstream news stations, but maybe like Arab news, where when they're talking about Israel, they're putting quotation marks around Israel. And I was hoping that the reason why they were doing that is because they're acknowledging that that's not actually the Israel of the Bible. That's not actually the Israel that true Jews, true Christians. Remember, Christianity is the fulfillment of Judaism. That is not something that anybody wants to associate themselves with. So I'm grateful. Maybe people are waking up. I'm on my way out. I've got 4 months left. I'm on my way out. So it's a great blessing for me to see that people are waking up. Please discern this message with God.